Now, in Alaska, speaking of climate change, melting ice in a glacial lake has caused flooding along the river as water gushed out and swept through Juneau, the state's capital city. Water levels along the swollen Mendenhall River are now beginning to fall, but the highly unstable banks have already led buildings to collapse and locals to wonder about the impact of global warming.
Beneath an incongruous blue sky, a torrent of water from the mountains above topples trees like dominoes.
Oh, there goes the woodshed.
Mendenhall River has burst its banks almost every summer since 2011. The flooding expected, but this year unparalleled. An entire house defenceless in the face of so much water. The apartment block next to it left teetering. After an evacuation of the area, there are miraculously no injuries. But there is a culprit, 13 miles upriver. It's the Mendenhall Glacier, which has been steadily shrinking over the decades, as has its neighbour, Suicide Glacier, which once merged with it until rising temperatures caused it too to retreat. That left behind the aptly named steep ice-filled Suicide Basin. Warmer springs have increased the amount of meltwater draining into the basin, meaning that by early July it's usually full of water, but effectively dammed by the ice of the Mendenhall Glacier. Drainage begins when a weak spot forms in that ice and water starts to channel through it, flowing under the glacier and causing flooding along Mendenhall Lake and River. This year, 3 foot higher than ever before.
It's unprecedented. The severity changes from year to year because of the glacial dynamics and just what's going on up on the Mendenhall Glacier. And so there's a lot of things that we do know, but there's also a lot of things that we're still learning and trying to figure out.
So they prepare for these waters to come every year, but can't yet predict the volume or how serious the damage will be. Rachel Younger, News at 10.